Hello, I'm Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada. Sounding a little different today. We're here with Nemahsis.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so glad to get to sit down with you.
I know, finally, long
I
overdue.
know.
Years.
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 I was going to say, when I was like going, researching all the things, I'm like, I've been following you on TikTok and things
Since
for.
before my first single, I was actually just telling him today, I was like, I think you were like one of the first to be like, I'm gonna keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting for this moment. I counted every day. I have a calendar. I was just like,
When's it gonna happen? Yeah, I know. And how nice for me that like so many people who like are fans of artists before they're world renowned. I
Yeah.
can say that.
Yep, I can
About you.
vouch.
And now you're nominated for Junos.
Yes.
That
Three.
is 3 Junos. How are you
Three's
feeling about
crazy.
it?
Three's crazy. Three's my lucky number.
Oh, nice.
I really want to win. Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, I really
I'm
want to
glad.
win.
I feel like some people don't say it. They're like, well, we'll see what happens.
No,
but-
I want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As you should.
there's not many moments I get to say that in my life. I'd love to win. Yeah.
And you're tied for the most amount of nominations for a first time nominee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, for today or ever?
I don't know. That's what I couldn't figure out. I was going to ask you that.
I don't know.
Maybe for this year.
Oh my God, I love, if that's true,
Yeah.
that is a win.
We'll fact check it.
That's a win though.
That's a win in itself. That's crazy. Okay, you've said in a previous interview, I'm going to quote you.
Oh.
You said, I've always been the underdog and I always respect the underdog, but I never thought I would be the underdog for so long.
Yeah.
So what change do you think needs to happen for you to get out of that spot?
Out of like the underdog?
Yeah.
I think,
Or do you think you're out of it now?
I don't think I'm out of it because there's still not enough of people that look like me. I still question why, I'm even the first hijabi to be nominated and stuff like that. And it's like, there's so many immigrants and so many Muslims that are not just like building communities within Canada and stuff. It's like we've been such a significant role in Canadian culture. And I'm just so surprised that we haven't made it this far. And, I still think I'll be the underdog so long as I'm not seeing more Muslims and hijabis on the red carpets and at these galas and at these events. So yeah, I just didn't think it would take this long, and it has nothing to do with me. I think it's just, diversity, inclusion, and it's always nice to be in a room and see someone that looks like you or someone that comes from the same area that you do. And I don't know, you just feel more reassured again.
Yeah.
So that's all.
How does it feel getting, because I'm sure you get DMs and things from people who are like,
Yeah.
oh, finally, like I see myself.
Yeah. I get crazy DMs, and it's like every DM, it's not like, oh my God, it's like, oh yeah, I fully get that because that's how I felt. That's how I feel. I kind of wish I wasn't the one doing it. I wish I was just the person DMing that person to thank them because I don't like to be perceived or be online. But at this point, it's not even for me anymore, But getting the DMs, it's great, not for like an ego thing, but okay, so this mattered to you too, because that's all I ever wanted, to watch Camp Rock and see like a hijabi or like a brown girl or something, dancing and having the opportunities on Disney Channel or Family Channel or whatever it be. So yeah,
Yeah, there was none in Camp Rock.
there were none.
Like literally.
Even like High School Musical and, Zoe 101, all these shows, there was just nothing like
How
really.
easy would that have been?
I think it would have been, yeah. I think it would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I had That's a Raven. That was good.
That's
That was something I kind of had, but
a
yeah.
classic. That was a prime time for Disney.
Prime time, yeah. I still wish we could see the football coach's face.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, they cut off the face?
Yeah.
Come on, reveal that. We're
That's
waiting.
so funny. Yeah, make it happen now. Just
Yeah.
bring it out. Your parents grew up in Palestine.
Mhm.
What do you learn from them growing up? What stories were told? Because did you go back there a lot?
Yeah.
You
Well,
did?
so my dad was actually born here.
Oh, okay.
It's actually quite funny. It's not actually a funny story. So my grandpa came on a boat after like in the 40s. He went on a boat from Palestine to Germany and then from Germany to Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Yeah, after World War II. So he came through Nova Scotia, worked, pretended he was Portuguese, learned Portuguese, and all of like the Portuguese community took him in and said, yeah, he's one of us. Because he came on a boat with a bunch of Portuguese people. So then he went back to Palestine, found a wife, brought her back, had my dad, took him. My dad was raised in Jordan and Palestine a bit, all the way till his about teens. He was back and forth. But my mom was born and raised in Palestine.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we couldn't afford to go back home like the first few years we were born. So I didn't go to Palestine till like 2002 or 3. And then ever since then, we've been going like every year or so long as we can afford it.
Wow.
So yeah.
What do you learn from your parents, like growing up? Did they tell you all the stories of what life
Yeah.
is like? And
They told us all about it.
Yeah.
They would talk about like the Dead Sea and like you can float and like all these things that sounded like like a Christmas miracle. Like you'd be like, no way that that's real. Like Santa doesn't exist, Dad. And then when we finally went, it was all real. Like we saw Petra in Jordan and like the Dead Sea in Palestine and all these things, and felt so. But no one can describe it to you. They can tell you about it, but then when you go there, I was saying this yesterday. I was talking to Dylan Sinclair, and because he had just gotten back from his home country as well, and I was telling him how every time you go back, you find a bit of yourself, a little piece of you that was missing, you get from there and you put it in. So you have to keep going back to really every time you find something new. So they can tell me about it as much as they want to, but I physically have to go to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you learn about yourself then that you then take and put into your art and your music?
There's this one thing, like we say it's one ummah, and it's about how like it's a community based, it's unity, and everyone's one and nobody's better than anyone. And I think when you go there, you take away the brands, like the brand names, the class system, you take away everything, and for the first time ever, it's like a clean slate. It's equal. Everyone, no one's better than anyone. Everyone's living the same. If you have a little bit more, you're helping someone eat. So I think it's really grounding, and it reminds you that take away all the materialistic stuff. We're all just a bunch of humans trying to like make it work.
Yeah.
And when I go there, I'm really reminded of it. And I try to bring that back with me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to live by. I like that. I feel like music's like that in a way too, where it's like it doesn't matter what class you are or if you have so much money.
Yeah.
How many nepo babies are trying to make it in the music industry? And
If you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're not. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I always say this, like, I don't like to record. All of my songs are done on like a really crappy demo mic. And it's not because I can't afford a good mic, but if the song sounds good on that mic, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we saw that too when you would just sing on TikTok.
Yeah.
And a video of yours is just
iPhone.
like, yeah, iPhone. And it resonates so much with people.
Yeah.
When you posted the Lorde cover,
Yeah.
at what point did you think like, oh, this is not just blowing up, but it's like making a cultural impact?
So I actually recorded it on my phone I didn't have the intention, like I didn't have the direction of putting videos or trying to tell the story that I was. I just, for the first time, was revisiting those lyrics in my mind in the way that I interpreted the song. And I just was going through a lot emotionally. So I picked up my phone and I was going somewhere, and I sang it 2 times and put it in my draft. Didn't think about it. I went and did my day, forgot about it. And then I went to my drafts to go post something. And I was like, oh yeah, I have these. And then I was like, oh, it's not the right key. Oh, it's not this. And I was like, but you know what? What's there is emotion. And like, I forget about how I sound. Like, you can see how much I'm thinking. I'm trying to remember the lyrics. I even mess it up 2 times in the song. And I was just like, that's it. And I went and grabbed a bunch of pictures that were circulating just from like Mortaz and a few other people. And it was just so easy. Like, the lyrics were basically telling themselves through these pictures. All I did was just put them on. I didn't even like synchronize it. And I posted it. And I think within the first like hour, it had like 200,000 views or something. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized until people were DMing me like days later and were like, I didn't even know what Palestine was. And I've just spent the last 72 hours Googling and researching and watching documentaries and educating myself. And it was because of your cover. I get at least a DM every day still saying that was the moment their minds and their hearts were open to the idea that maybe this is an injustice and we do deserve, equality and land back. So
Yeah, that's so great that you are able to do that for people.
Yeah.
And I can imagine too for you as an artist, it's hard because you are dealing with so many like serious topics and you are representing so much in just who you are as a person.
Yeah.
But you're also like a silly goose. Like,
I'm so silly.
you like to have fun.
I know. Actually, my manager said this to me. I think it was after the cover had went viral and like beyond the views, it was like after Lorde and Bella and like a few things had went viral beyond the level of TikTok or I guess. Anyway, my manager had reached out and he called me and he was like, are you prepared for this? And I was like, what? He's like, there's going to be a moment now where anything that happens in the world, they're going to look at you like, what is Nema doing? Like, you're now like a cultural influencer of, well, what does Nema think? What is Nema? They want to hear your opinions on global warming and things like that. And he was like, are you prepared for that? Like, is that something you're ready for? Like, I'm here for you. Like, he was really just like making sure that I was aware of like the significance of the post. And I was just like, that's my whole identity. Like, I've been wearing hijab for 20 plus years. I've been the underdog. I've supported underdogs, you know? Even some of my favorite artists are like Chappell Roan, Ray. Like, you look at who I love, they make great music and they also have something to fight for and stand for. And I've always been ready for this moment. I don't think I would want to be an artist or be someone with a platform if I wasn't someone that people could turn to. I turn to people and I'm like, you know, what has this person said about this? Or what are their views? You know, who should I vote for? I'm going to go do some research and there's people I go to for it, you know? So yeah, I have no problem with that.
Does that ever do you feel the heaviness of that? Does that ever impact like your mental health?
I don't feel the heaviness, but I have a good boundaries in terms of I don't know everything. And maybe I'm not ready to research it. Maybe I'm overwhelmed. So I'll just take a step back and not post. But it doesn't mean like I'm going to be silent, but it's just like sometimes I'll let other people do the job. It's not always going to be mine. But the moment something is brought to my attention and I'm like mentally prepared to speak about it, I will always take that
Yeah.
that
That's a good way to
opportunity
be.
to. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're also a Pisces.
Yeah. What are you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm a Sag rising.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm a Sag. Okay, I'm still learning a lot about it. I'm
okay.
like recently just getting into astrology.
Okay.
But I know a bunch of my houses are all Capricorn. So I have a lot of like Capricorn
I was just
tendencies.
talking about how Sag and Capricorn in a chart is really great. I was saying
Oh,
this
yeah?
yesterday.
Oh,
And
good
I
to
was
know.
like, because I have Sag,
Okay, yeah.
Pisces, and Aries. And I was like, I wish I had Capricorn to
Oh,
balance it.
what am I? Oh, I'm Sag, Aries, Capricorn.
Oh my God, yesterday, what's his name that was interviewing me? For CBC, he's Sudanese. He has
Oh.
another show.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So he is Pisces, Sag, Capricorn.
Oh, interesting.
And I was talking about how I always say I need Capricorn in my chart or Virgo.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a great chart.
Thank you so
You
much.
have a very good chart.
What's the most like Pisces thing about you?
I'm so emotional.
Yeah, is that?
Oh my God. You know, like when Chappell had like a few moments on the red carpet where she was like, no, we're not going to do that. That's me. Like
yeah.
100%. I'm like cool and like fun and silly. And then the moment you disrespect someone or someone I'm with, I'm like, no. And I will cry after I tell you.
But you'll have their back.
Yeah, I'm very emotional.
Yeah.
But that's what makes great songwriting.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a
Yeah.
great way to be. I love that so much. Also knowing that you didn't listen to music growing up.
Yeah.
And so many artists that I talk to, we talk about like how what you listen to growing up is influential to the music that you make, and nostalgia is a big part of that. How does not having that part influence your music? Because that's got to play a role in itself.
Yeah, I think like I wasn't voluntarily listening to it, but there's a subconscious. I'm going to the malls, I'm going to the grocery stores, I'm going to school, and you know, I think I'm so able to pick up melodies so quickly because I had such limited time to learn things. So I think I'd always be like, Mama, like, who wants to go help with groceries? I would always be like, me. I get to sing in an echoey place for like an hour and hear all the hits. And I would like, it used to stress me out not knowing what the top 10 Billboard and stuff and songs and much music was going to be. So I would go to these and try to like memorize the song so that I could pick my favorites to see if it aligns with it. So I think it kind of helped me become a great songwriter because I had to learn quickly.
Yeah.
And it was stressful, but it made me really great. And I said this like once. If someone says, I saw a review of Dead Giveaway of my song, and they said, I loved it, but then she has like a resolve and it's so cliche. And that was like the best thing anyone could ever say. Because I didn't grow up listening to music. So if you say something's cliche, it means that in such a short period of time, I was able to like recognize a pattern of what works. It's so cliche that it's so done that I was able to notice that something like that works and resonates with people.
Yeah.
You know,
So you
to the
tapped
mainstream.
in.
Yeah. So I'm actually really flattered by what might be an insult or like backhanded. Yeah.
I love that. You're like, actually, you don't even know
Yeah,
what a
you don't.
compliment that is.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Nemahsis, thank you so much.
Thank you.
A dream interview of mine. So I'm glad you're here. We did it.
Me too. I'm such a fan.
Happy Juno's weekend.
Likewise.
Can't
Oh my
wait for you to
gosh.
win.
Yeah, I can't wait to win.